is now finished. I will attempt to pick this up so you can see it. Good job these things are light. So it is very long, goes all the way down to there. So on me it touches the floor. Hi guys, long time no see. It's almost 2 months since I put any kind of video out, and I have no idea how long since I put a catch-up video out. This last year was my final year of my degree, and study took priority, and it took over everything, and health issues meant that I just wasn't feeling up for doing anything on the days that I wasn't studying. So it's been a long time. So hi, how are you all? I've missed you all. I'm hoping you can see me okay. It is extremely bright here today in sunny Salisbury. Never see that much. It's not usually sunny around here, but it's absolutely gorgeous right now. It is currently Monday the 14th of June. Hopefully this will go out today. If not, this week at some point. Because if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that some videos that have been coming out over the last few months were filmed a long time ago, and then I'd forgotten to put them out. There's actually a whole bunch of videos I did film and never got around to editing and putting out. So I have been thinking of you, I just haven't had the energy or the time to actually edit videos and put them up. So we're just starting afresh, and I'm not bothering with the videos that I did record. That includes a couple of Craftiosity videos that I forgot to put out, but I've cancelled my Craftiosity boxes. There's nothing wrong with them, they're still great, I still love them, but I had to reevaluate finances with things, and they had to go because with not doing videos, obviously my YouTube income dropped down, and my YouTube income was what was paying for them, and so they're gone for now. But there's still going to be lots more stuff on the channel, so I'm pretty sure most of you aren't here for the Craftiosity boxes anyway. They don't get a huge amount of views. But I thought I'd do a catch up and show you everything I've been doing or buying since I've been gone. It's a lot. Not everything is in here. I bought a Cricut machine, which is a vinyl wood leather type. It's a cutter that cuts 300 different materials. Most of you know what it is. It's the Cricut Maker. I got it to do my stickers that I've been designing, because I've been cutting out my stickers and my badges by hand. I've been making badges for a year, 2 years? I can't remember now. It's been a while. But I was cutting them out by hand, and now the Cricut machine can cut out my stickers neater and my badges better. But it's also cutting out vinyl and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's been really good fun. I'm really loving the machine. And I will be getting a heat press soon. My brother is actually going halves with me on one. So I'll be able to do iron on vinyl and things as well. So that's really cool. And then one day, hopefully, sublimination. It's all Randy's fault. I've been umming and ahhing over it for years, and then seen Randy doing it, and I'm like, that looks so cool. I really definitely want to do that instead of just umming and ahhing. So it's something I'm saving for. But I think I'm going to start with showing you the yarn that I brought in, because there's not much of it. And I can get that packed way out of the way then, because it's on top of the other stuff. I do have a bunch of my own hand-dyed yarns, but I think what I'll do is I'll do them in a separate video, so you can see what's going up to the shop. I think that's going to be easier than trying to put it all in with this lot, because there's a lot. So let's start. So we'll start with the luxury yarns. A lady moved in down the road during lockdown last year. And she happens to be a yarn dyer as well, and she has her own studio set up down there. She's in one of the nice places, and though I haven't been able to go and visit because obviously we've had lockdown and no one allowed inside and all that jazz, she does do studio visits, so I am going to go at some point. But I've got some of her absolutely gorgeous silk yarn. This is single ply, 100% silk, and it's called Luminous DK. I have no idea if you're going to be able to read any of this because it's so shiny, but Orcadia Luxury Yarns. her yarns are to die for, but I've got 2 silvers and 1 pink. Hopefully you can see them. I don't know if you can, but they are so soft, so silky, unspicy, 100% silk, and so shiny. They are just gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to make with them yet. I'm thinking some kind of shawl so I can hug myself in it, because it is so seriously soft. I might be a little addicted to 100% silk right now. This is just, it's amazing. But it's £22 a skein, so it's not the cheapest yarns, but it's worth every penny. It's gorgeous. So this is a treat to myself once in a while. I am on a timeline. Duncan's going to have a video call in about 10 minutes, so I'll probably end up filming this in 2 parts. So if you see a jump, it's because I've had to pause and then restart. But that's the Orchidia yarns. She is on Facebook and Instagram. If you're on my Instagram, just look through my followers for Orchidia yarns, you'll be able to find her. I'll try to remember to link her in the description, but we all know I got a terrible memory. So we'll pop them away. And then these yarns, I got, Knit Crate had an offer on some yarn boxes, so I got them. Now I'm still waiting for one box to show. So there's 2 skeins missing. I ordered these in February and I'm still waiting for one box, and these didn't start arriving until May. It's absolutely, I was going to do unboxings with them, but I was so disappointed with the service and the customer service that I refused to do it. So I'm just going to show you the yarn, but I do not recommend Knit Crate in any shape or form. They are horrendous to work with. But so we've got these 2. Says Tranquility, and it's 80% wool, 10% silk, 10% mohair, and it's a DK weight of 231 yards, 100 grams. I don't know if we're going to be able to read that, but just in case. But so we got these 2 colours and these 2, and then these 2. And so in theory, I think there's a blue coming. It was a kind of a mystery box. It was a choice between 2 or 3 different yarns that was going to arrive. You don't know what you're getting. But this is what I got, if I can hold it up. So I'm expecting potentially a blue to arrive. But that's what I got. They're pretty. They're not colours I would ever chose, but that was the point, is to expand my colour palette and see what colours I wouldn't naturally pick. They don't feel particularly soft, but they're not rough. They're not as soft as I, but then it's got wool and mohair as well as silk, so you know. So I don't know what I'm going to make with them yet. I'm open to ideas. So there's 2 for 600 grams here, and if it arrives, another 200 grams to arrive. So I can make something really nice with them. I just don't know what yet. Yeah, they're the Ondies wool by Knit Crate, called Calm. Yeah, the wool's nice, and they were definitely worth the money, but they were not worth the weight. So I won't be doing that again. So now, I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have my knitting machine set back up again, so I've been able to do things on that, which is great. I've only made one thing on the X, we only got it set up this weekend, but I'll show you that at the end because it's buried at the bottom. I think the best bet is to show you my whips for the minute, because I've got 2 whips, 2 yarn whips anyway. There's actually 3 or 4 yarn whips on the go, but I've forgotten to bring the others in, so you're only going to see 2. So this is just a basic granny triangle shawl. Try to grab it without losing my thing. Hang on, let me. So if I have a yarn holder on it, so it weighs down and it will rip out the stitches if I'm not careful. So let's take my yarn holder off. My fingers are getting a little hurt, so use a yarn holder to prevent too much damage to my fingers. So it's just a basic granny triangle. It will be a really big shawl. At the moment, you know, it kind of sits there. You know, it's not a bad size, but I want a giant one. I'm working off a cone. This is one of the Magic colours that Jan Crothers, Urban Gypsy Crochet, gave me. This one's shade 1BT. But I really love the Magic colour. It's such a shame they were discontinued. I have several of them and they're just stunning, and I would have loved to have bought matching cones to be able to do bigger projects with a lot of them. But anyway, I think the colours are lovely. I don't know if you can see the colour fade in them, but there is all different colours working through. So it's black feeds through, and then there's yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, orange, and then it keeps repeating. And it is gorgeous and I'm loving it. But that, I'm probably going to use most of the cone, if not all of it, because I'll also do fringing on it and make it really big. So that's got a way to go yet. And I'm doing it on a 4mm? Yeah, I'm doing it on a 4mm hook, even though it's 4-ply yarn. But it's given it a nice drape. I wanted something big and fluffy and drapey and squishy, so I went with a bigger one. We've got 3 minutes, so I've got time to show you the next whip before I have to stop for a bit. So I'm currently working on the sleeve of this. I've still got the hood and the front band to go. I'm just loosening up some of that so it doesn't disappear. But this has already got its main length. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. The colour, it's 6 colours which repeat all the way down. Now this is of a size that actually does fit me. I've just sent the crochet hook flying, I think. It does fit on me. Now, as I said, I haven't done the front band, but otherwise there we go. This, if we go back, I don't remember how long ago now, quite a while ago, I did pinks and purples and DK weight of this pattern. I think this one was called the Pixie Coat. I think this is an Earth Tricks pattern. I'll link it down below because I've forgotten it, but I think it's Earth Tricks. Let me pick up that crochet hook. Yeah, pick up that crochet hook, sorry. But yeah, this one, basically she doesn't give you stitch count. You work out what your gauge is, how many stitches to work and the size you want, and then you do the stitch count to that. So I've been able to adjust it to the 4-ply yarn. And again, this is more cones from Jan, so each one of these is a different cone that I got from Jan. So it's all 4-ply, and it's being done on a 3mm hook. But it's coming out really nicely and I'm really loving it, and I'm tempted to do more than 4-ply, but it does take a long time at that. They are all double crochet, which is UK treble crochet, so it does give you some height, but there's still a lot, and it's very long. It's probably almost down to my ankles, so on a normal sized person, because I'm 5 foot nothing on a good day, it's not quite that long, but it's still a really good length, and once the band on, it's going to be a really nice size to fit over a lady with a larger bust. But it doesn't quite get around my belly because I have a much bigger belly, so someone who is a flatter belly will still be able to wear it even if they've got a bigger bust. So it's a good size, but it's going to be designed that it doesn't actually do up, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't meet in the front, because the whole point of it is that it sits open. I don't want to have fastenings on it. Most of my stuff doesn't have fastenings on them. I like just having them hung and not being closed in, so that's what I've done. Right, that's 11 o'clock, so that's Duncan's time for his call. So I'm going to have to go, and I will be back to show you all of my finished projects. I'll see you later. Bye. Back again. It's an hour later now, his call was an hour long. It's now getting extremely hot in here because it's now midday. So we're gonna try to get through this, but I might have to stop if I start getting too hot and come back when it's a bit cooler again. So weirdly, most of the stuff I've made is for colder weather. Really good timing there. But we'll go. So, as some of you probably noticed, I got a Centro, well, I got 3 different size Centro knitting mills. I'm pretty sure I put all 3 videos out now. I noticed after I put the first one out, I forgot to put the other 2 out, and I'm pretty sure I put them out. I filmed them back in February, and I think they came out in like April, because I forgot. But anyway, what I was trying to say is I've been using them to make some headbands. Quite a few of them. I was using up scraps of yarn, so they're all running away from me. Some of them are just hand crocheted, but some are done on the knitting machine, so we'll start with the ones on the knitting machine. So these are all made on the smallest of the Centros, the 20 stitch, is it? 22 stitch? I can't remember now. I'd get out to show you, but it's tucked away down there, so anyway. So to put it on and off my head, which is going to be hard work and hot. I think I'm going to put it on the doll's head, so let me just grab, I'm so unorganised. I'm out of practice, aren't I? So let's pop this on the doll's head. I haven't brushed the hair on this thing, so it's going to be a little messy, but I don't think you really care, do you? There we go. So, there you go. So it has this little cute twist in it that I can't remember the name of this yarn. It's just scraps left from some other projects. So that's one of them. I've done a few of this style. So there's a few different colours. It's really nice and thick and cosy and soft. This is the same yarn but a different colourway. And each one of these are slightly different in size and length, because I wanted a variety for different people's head sizes. But try to put it on straight. There we go. So again, it has a cute little twist in it, and then so this is a mixed variegated purple type one. Again, these are soft. These ones I think have real wool content in them. It might be a wool and acrylic blend, I can't remember. This is, I'm pretty sure this was the James Seabrett Marble. It's scraps from another project I did a long time ago. So again, a little twist at the top, and then around. But again, these are really nice and cosy and soft and really quite warming, which we don't need right now, but you know, it's nice to be prepared for winter, isn't it? I made 2 of them, so I'll just show you the other one. They are ever so slightly different lengths, so that they can be tighter or looser around the head depending on how you like it, because different people like, I like quite tight headbands and hats, but I know a lot of people like them a bit looser, so I've done 2 different sizes. There. Yeah, flowers floating around. So again, and then I think this is the last one I've done on the knitting machine. This one is one of the smaller ones. See, they all fit, but it just depends on how tight you like things. So again, the little twist, and I can't remember what this yarn is either. But again, it was just a scrap wool, so it could be 100% acrylic, could be a wool and acrylic mix, I'm not sure. so anyone who buys those ones will have to be okay with a potential wool product. Okay, so these ones, this is in the same yarn as the ones I just showed you, but this one is hand crocheted. It's actually a different type of headband. It's more of a Mobius strip one. So you can see it's just got a natural twist in it, and goes around like that. So it's a few different patterns in it. This one, I don't know if you can see, but it's got front back loop and then just straight, just gives it a little different texture, you know. I wanted something with a little bit of different texture, so that's what I've done. And this bit here can be worn at the top, or if you wanted, you can have it down at the back underneath a ponytail so that it's not too bulky at the back, and just have a plain straight at the front, and then it wouldn't be so bulky underneath a ponytail or something there. So I think that's quite a funky one, but I quite liked the different textures. I was experimenting on that one and I did quite like it. It's the only one of that texture I did, but I think I'd do more at some point because I did enjoy that. Okay, this one is just basic front and back post crochet to give a basic rib. This is definitely 100% acrylic, so I'm pretty sure this is Stylecraft Chunky. So it's quite a thick chunky one. It's also not very straight. There you go. But it's just a nice little head warmer. It's just plain all the way around. But it's nice and cosy. And they've got quite a bit of give in them, so they fit most head sizes. And again, this is the same thing but made slightly smaller. This I used the very end scraps of each of those yarns to make a multicoloured one, and again it's non-straight. So this one, which you can probably tell, is literally just a line of each of those previous colours. Just using up the scraps to give a multicoloured one, and I like how that turned out, to be honest. And again, it's nice cosy, so that could be an acrylic and wool blend potential. But I quite like it. So that's all the headbands, I think. That's the other ones I found out. I've packed some stuff away, so there may be the odd thing I've made you haven't seen. But and then I was using multi-strands together for several projects, and this is one of them. So I used multiple of the cones from Jan together. So this one was a cream, a beige, a red and a green, which was a changing one, so it's got some yellow in that in it. And this is just a scarflet. I don't know if you can see that. So, nice little scarflet, and that colour is just basic double crochets or treble crochets UK, but it matches the colour of a long scarf. So this one is doubled over, so you can wear it tucked in, quite big and bulky, but it sits nicely. Or you could wrap it around that way and have it nice and big and long. So it's really nice and squishy and warm, which is not what I want in this temperature, but I did make these when it was cold. It's just we're going through a heat wave. And then this is a nice little vest. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the pattern on this. I only see reflection, so I don't actually see the screen, so I don't know what you're seeing. So it kind of sits like that, so it's quite wide. And then I don't know if I'm in camera, but I will get photos of these to go up on the shop, so you'll see them all properly up on Instagram and the shop once I've got them photoed on mannequins or on someone. But I done that one in that colour, and then also repeated that one, this one. So then I also held a bunch of greens together, again more the 4-ply yarn but held, and then same vest but done in the green, same size. I don't know if you spotted on the last one, it has a lovely fringe. They're quite wide armholes on these things. They're just kind of a loose fitting top. It's kind of fits most people's size. It doesn't need to do up, it just kind of hangs there. And again I've done the long scarf to go with it. It's the same size as the other one. I'm just rushing through it because it's very hot. There will be the small one to go with it, like the first scarf, the scarf that I showed you, but I haven't made it yet, but there will be one of that size as well. And then this is a different vest, so it has smaller armholes, and the centre pattern is almost identical, but then it changes the way it's been made, so it's more across. So this one doesn't have a fringe. If I put this one on, again it just sits open. If you're a skinnier person it would close more, but I don't know how well you can see how that sits, but it is really quite cute. It comes to just below my butt on me, so from a normal size person it's probably touching the top of your butt, maybe waist height depending on your height. But again it's kind of a one size fits most because it just hangs loosely, it doesn't do up or anything. So that was the chunkier things I've done, and then I've done some stuff with just the 4-ply. This colour is gorgeous. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got like blues and greens, and it's kind of a subtle variegated. Again this has a nice pretty centre. This one has long, really cool bow-like sleeves. You see that? I won't pop this on because it's I'm a little chunky for it. This is definitely for a slightly skinnier person, maybe 8 to 10, depending on how loose you like things. But I will get it on a mannequin or something so you can see it properly, but it has this gorgeous flowy top at the front, and it's really gorgeous. So there's one in that colour, but there's also another one. This one's a bit smaller, same pattern, but in a different colour. So same sleeves and that, but this one is more for tween, so 10 to 12-year-old. I didn't aim it to be that size, but the patterns I follow, though her patterns are lovely, she makes beautiful stuff, I just can't get the same size as she does. It's always much smaller, so I have to adjust them to make them bigger, which is why these ones are so small. I will be remaking them in bigger sizes. I just have to work the stitch count and things to increase it or make it in a DK weight or a chunkier weight, but I quite like them in the 4-ply because it makes them light and fluffy, flowy and things. And then this one has a completely different pattern. Don't know how well you can see. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I don't actually know what that is. But it has a hood. I don't know if you can see, it's just a basic hood, and it has big sleeves. Again, I can't tell what you can see on screen, I will do photos of all these up on Instagram and in the shop so you can see them all properly, so I suggest checking out them. But this is a really nice coat. I'm not going to put it on because it is way too hot. This is quite a thick, bulky one. This was 2 skeins held together, but it's produced a really nice, thick, bulky, warm coat. And it is really nice to wear. This does fit me. So this is a pretty good size. I think it's, for me, it's just below the, I think it's probably closer to my knee length. So probably just below the butt for a taller person. But it's still a pretty good length. I will be making some with longer lengths though. Again, on her pattern, that was more ankle length. But she obviously has an extremely loose tension. So my stuff just doesn't come out the same size. But I didn't mind that because I knew it meant that I'd be able to create smaller sizes using her pattern, and then I'll adjust it to make the bigger sizes for me. And again, this is a cute little top made in 4-ply. I made some adjustments on this as well because I made it longer and thing, but this is a cute little I don't know what you'd call it, a little tank top. I've actually put a second layer behind the boob area of single crochet, which is not in the pattern, but I just think it gives it more structure and sits better. Now this is definitely for a smaller busted lady, because this doesn't fit me. So this is probably for someone who's maybe A or B size. But the bottom, it does do up around me, so it can, but it's a tight for me and you'd want it to be a bit baggier, so I'm gonna guess it's probably a size 12, maybe a 10 to 12, but I don't know anyone that size, so I can't test it on anyone. But the back does have this lace up, so it is adjustable. I don't know if you can see that. So it has this lovely little lace section in the back, so it's adjustable to within reasons to do up around you. But I really like it, and I'm going to make more on bigger sizes to fit people, and I'm actually going to make them longer for more tunic tops as well, instead of just these short to the waist ones, because I prefer longer ones. But I thought it was really quite cute. And again, I will get better pictures of all this so you can see them all there. And then this thing came out huge. I can't remember whose pattern this was. It's somebody I hadn't done before. It's the first time. I actually took off 2 strips, one each side, and it's still huge. And that is a bikini or swimsuit cover-up. So the pattern is really gorgeous. If I just hold one side out, you can see. The pattern's really gorgeous, but I mean, on me, this is down halfway down my shins, and it's supposed to only be to your butt. Yes, I didn't do a swatch because I was lazy and I was feeling crappy and I just wanted to start something. But you know, this might be really good for a much larger, taller lady. So I kept it because there are very tall ladies out there, and I know that they do struggle to find products that fit them well because they're so tall. So I want to make sure that some of my stuff fits the taller people as well as the shorter people like me. So I've kept it, and I will produce shorter ones for more average height, and then for short people like me. But I really like it, and I'm probably going to go down another strip so that it's not as wide either, because it is very wide. And it kind of hangs off there. So, but we'll see. I'll get some photos of it up anyway. And then let's move all that so I can get to the other stuff. We're almost done. This I haven't woven the end. I've still got an end to weave in. But otherwise, again, I made this a long time ago when it was cold. And that's just a nice big chunky wrap or shawl, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I've just got it caught on my knitting machine. But anyway, you can see that. It's really thick and chunky. This held 4 skeins together, I think. 3 skeins, but one of them was a chunkier skein. And yeah, that came out really lovely. So I just need to weave in the end and then that's done. And then finally, the one thing I've done on my knitting machine so far, this hasn't been washed and blocked, so it's still curling to high heaven. But it's basically another wrap. It's just one that sits like that and around, but as you can see, it's still curling up in the moment because it's not been blocked and it is stockinette. And it's basically just a plain stockinette rectangle. As you can see, and I really like this. This was done using all 200 of the stitches, so it's actually as wide as it can go on my machine. But when I have enough yarn to do it, this used up an entire cone of yarn, so I need 2 of the same colour or 2 stripe or pattern it to be able to do the wraps, because I also want to make basically 2 of these which I sew up the back but leave at the front, so it's a wrap as well. You know, the big wraps that are like 2 rectangles split halfway down that come over. So I'm going to do that with some of these, but this one will stay like this because it's the only one skein I have. But the fabric is really nice and thick and cosy and squishy. Once it's washed and blocked, I'll get some photos of that too. So that is all the yarn based stuff I've got to show you. I've also been working on stickers. Now, you'll have to mind what I'm showing you on. I don't have any actual stickers about because all my testers I gave to my niece. I forgot I'd need some to show you guys, so I've only got the ones I've stuck to my tin. So, if you can see, there's all different stickers, some of which have glossy, some are matte, some are pearlescent, and some are transparent around there. So I don't know how well you can see the transparent stickers, but they're all the same pictures. So there is an ice cream, some fries, donuts, watermelon, and you show on the top there, burgers. So each one of these has, these are the pearlescent ones down here, I don't know how well you can see that. These are all testers, so they're not perfect. They were working out little kinks and things, but now I've worked it out, so the next ones will be pretty good. But they're done. But I'm also turning the stickers into notepads. So this one's not stuck together, this was just a test sheet. So all the rest will have this sort of version, but this one, and that's just burgers. And I haven't done any more tests like this one yet, but all of the other patterns will have ones that match that sort of thing, so their backgrounds will match their colours. But otherwise, here's the other style of burgers. And then that's the fries. That's the second burgers one. That's the donuts. And I haven't done any notepads for the other ones yet, but what these are is they're glued at the top notepads. So they will have a proper cardboard backing. These were just testers, testing out sizing, printing, how well it glues, how well it comes off, which is really nice and neatly coming off, and make sure it can cut straight and all that jazz. But these will be little notebooks. They will be different sizes. I was aiming for A6 on most of these, but my printer was having a fun time and not printing everything equally. So I'll show you these. Some are A6 size, give or take, but some are smaller. So this is why these are testers, because none of them came out the correct size. It's just a matter of learning the quirks of the new cutting machine and the printer to where I cut. But I've got the hang of it now, so the next lot will be all the same size and will have the wooden backings. And they will have 50 sheets approximately per pad. These ones, I don't know how many's on each one. I was just testing some that I cut out and see how they go. But I quite like them. I think they're cute. And so there will be more of them. And as I said, there will be versions like that sort of pattern as well, in various sizes. So they will be coming to the shop as well. I'm probably going to end up doing pencils as well. Many years ago I also made my own pencils. You literally buy the lead, it's not really lead, but you know, the lead, and then you wrap it in printed paper that you put your picture on tightly, and it's literally paper, so it's you sharpen it like any normal pencil, but instead of being a wood base, it's a pencil base with a pretty picture on it. I did used to have some around, but I think they might all be gone now, I'm not sure, but I'm probably going to do some to match. And then I'm thinking of getting some of those pens that you can stick the picture in the little lining thing so that they match, and then possibly come up with some kind of stationery set that all go together. So we're going to do that at some point, but obviously there's a lot going on, so I have to plan everything out. There will be more tutorials coming. I'm going to be doing tutorials on jewelries, beading work, weaving, bead weaving and normal beading. There'll also be quilled jewellery. I made some years ago and I thought they looked quite cute, so I'm going to do some tutorials on them. I will do tutorials on those notepads if people are interested as well. And then there'll be some videos, time-lapse videos, things of me drawing the stickers and things. They will come out. Some of them have already been filmed, I just haven't edited them. They're not time sensitive, so those drawing ones will still come out, but the ones I recorded that were time sensitive, like the Crafty Aussie box, didn't come out. You know, it's 2 months old now, there's no point. So some will come out, some won't. But that's about it. It is very hot in here. I think that's about everything. I've reorganised my craft room to get my knit machine out, so there's a lot of combs down on the floor, and my shelves have been reorganised. So let me take off this, let me stop it a minute to get the camera off, and then I can show you all. Alright guys, so this is my shelf now. So tucked down here is a bunch of my hand dyed yarn. These are the DK weight and the sock weight yarns, and then underneath all of the stuff I brought in, all of these is my lace weight hand dyed yarns, including neon colours, which some of you have already seen on Instagram. And then that's my cotton shelf, so all of that in there is cotton yarn, and that's more stuff from Jan. That's my basic skeins of yarn. All the rest of my proper skeins, my toy yarn Starcraft, they're all in the other room. This is now my quilling and origami section. These two here, this one and this one, are my bead and jewellery, because I have quite a lot of that. This one here is my sewing section. This is my fun colouring section, so it's got some colouring books and some colouring pencils. And then up here is my proper art collection of pencils and things. Here is my cardboard. These are the backings for the notepads, and this is just some card, and then that's vinyl, and some pens for my Cricut machine and my cutting machine. This is my odds and sods section. There's a whole bunch of different supplies and that I use in there. That's my patterns section. That's my packaging boxes. I save all the boxes I get and I use them to send out parcels to people who don't mind having reused boxes. The next one is all my 5D paintings and my niece's box of craft stuff. And then that one's another odds and sods drawer. It's got my frames for doing paper making and some balloons and some resin stuff, and my needle felting. So 2 of my knitting mills. The other one is up on thing because it couldn't fit. That there's my badge making supplies. That's my embroidery stuff there. I can't show you the stuff on the bottom shelf, but it's basically more supplies. Obviously this is one of my cones, and then the rest of my cones are down here with my knitting machine set up along here. I've got my Swift and my thing, and then some other supplies. My ink loom is just at the back there, if you can see, and giant canvas. And then, if you don't mind taking a little walk with me a minute. So this is where I hang my finished jewellery. I haven't made any for ages, but there's a couple of things that I'd made a while ago. It's just my knitting needles. That's all my ribbons and things. These just keep little organised things. I think that one's my pom-poms, that one's needles, and that one's little wood veneer things. And that's where I keep my sharps. That's my little mascot, Kathy. Down here, that's all my paints and other art supplies. And further down is my brushes, canvases and other art supplies, all down there. And that's my easel and another table and a secondary easel. My other Centros up there. There's my filming stuff, and up the top is my latch hook and 2 sewing machines. So that's all of it. So it's quite a lot. Let's turn this camera around. I see you again. So there's my daughter's behind me. Let's sit down again a minute. I won't bother reattaching it. You don't mind, do you? Oh, my spinning wheel's just there. I forgot to show you. And should we turn that around? There's my spinning wheel, and all of them are by badge making supplies. That's just to dry. That's where I hang my yarn to dry, and anything I've made gets hung on there to dry as well. That's just my tripod if you're wondering. This is the rest of my knitting machine supply, because I have a ribber and a colour changer as well. So that's everything. So hopefully I've covered everything. I don't know if I've missed anything. If I have, I'll do it in another video. I'm hoping to, let's just swap arms. I'm hoping to film more regularly now. But again, I've got to work around Duncan's schedule, so we have to see. Most of my tutorials will probably be done in silence. And then I'll do a voiceover, because I've got a setup in the lounge with overhead hanger for the camera and everything for filming. So when I'm filming there, I can't just stop a tutorial because I forget where I've got to, so I'll film it with no sound. That way it doesn't matter if Duncan's on a call or anything, and then I can voice over it. That's where I also film my jigsaw puzzle time-lapse videos. Eventually I'm probably going to do little catch-up videos at the same time of filming those, so you know, when I do on Instagram, I can just say, well, I'm up through the day, so you know, if I'm working on a puzzle and things, so you get little sneak peeks of what puzzles are coming, because some of you seem to enjoy seeing the puzzles, and I enjoy doing them. It's a good little break. I will be painting some Warhammer models on there as well. So for anyone that's interested in Warhammer, I'll be painting some models. I don't really play the game, but I just like the models, and my son got started on it, and he bought me some to get started on it and painting. So I've already painted a couple. They went up on my Instagram a while ago, but I have a bunch more that I got for my birthday, so I'm going to do them. Yeah, I think that's everything covered. I don't know. But we'll see. But check me out on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. I will try to post there daily from now on, unless I'm having a bad health day. But I'm going to have to go because it is extremely hot in here. I don't know how well you see most of this because it's very bright and my screen is just fully reflective, so I can't tell what you can see. And I don't know if you can hear whether that noise is. I think maybe next door's having their windows washed, I'm not sure. But I will see you all soon, so I hope you're all okay. Say hi down in the comments. I've missed you all. I haven't chatted with most of you for so long. If you're not in my Facebook group, just come along to that. That is linked in my About Me section, and then you can show me all the stuff you're making and share what you're doing. But otherwise, I will see you all, I don't know when, but soon, very soon. Alright, you take care. Bye!